right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending where we are catching you in our big, beautiful world. Roderick H. Norville, Full Circle Podcast. What's your story? But it is that time. LCAO Book Club. And we are making our way through Coach, the A.L. Williams story. We've just been doing really a little backstory on his family, his father particularly, and how important coaching was and sports and just family values. So we're really just getting this into the book. And today we're going to go a little deeper on his coach. So Coach Taylor. So he's mentioned Coach Taylor. So we are going to go a little deeper on Coach Taylor this morning. That was the man. How many of you played sports growing up? I was, a couple months ago, we were really starting to get things going with the coaching academy, and I had to come to terms and admit that I'm not everybody's coach. And nor do I want to be. But it was a humbling experience to realize that there are people that can coach way better than me in different areas. We're all sort of able to coach maybe something we've been through or something that we've gained experience in. Does that make sense? And I'm just so grateful here at the Academy. We have so many incredible people that we have somebody for everybody. I actually believe that. And man, that makes things a little easier for sure. So let's dial it in with Coach Taylor. This is chapter 3 in the book. Let's get started. Coach Tommy Taylor, hired as Cairo's first full-time recreation director, moved to town in 1953. Sorry. He brought a vision and a work ethic that would change the lives of hundreds of kids in the next 20 years. Born in California, Coach Taylor graduated from San Diego High School in 1943, then served 2 years in the Air Force as a flight officer, bombardier, and navigator in World War II. After the war, he attended 2 years of junior college in Fort Myers, Florida, before transferring in 1946 to the University of Florida in Gainesville. He earned his bachelor's degree with a double major, physical education and health, and recreation and athletics, plus a speech minor. He lettered in varsity track 3 years as one of the country's top pole vaulters, matched wits with peers as a member of the debate team, and graduated with honors in 1949. Coach Taylor stayed 1 more year as a graduate assistant, pursuing a master's degree in administration and supervision of secondary schools. An excellent tennis player, he coached the Junior Davis Cup for the state of Florida that year, on the way to achieving his master's degree once again with honors at Florida State University. He pitched in the 1949 fast-pitch softball world tourney and was voted most valuable player. When he arrived in Cairo, Coach Taylor was not quite 30 years old, married with children, and wise beyond his years. He had played coach and excelled in just about every sport known to man, and he had a gift and a passion for transferring that knowledge to kids. Angela Williams, Art's mom, says here, Coach Taylor was the Pied Piper of Hamlin for all the young boys in Cairo. They followed him everywhere, and they did whatever he said. He could get them to do anything. Picture in the Pied Piper. You guys remember the cartoon? Everybody following along? Do you guys remember that? Just had a flashback, sorry. I remember that. Absolutely. It says here, most people wanted to coach high school, but Coach Taylor loved youngsters. He understood instinctively that every child, even as young as 6 or 7 years old, wanted to be somebody. And he found all kinds of ways to get kids involved in athletics. Coach Taylor made it clear he took his job seriously. He wasn't somebody's dad volunteering in his off hours. He was professional, full-time, serious about winning. He immediately set up a year-round sports program that knocked the socks off anything Cairo had ever seen before. He started fall football leagues, winter basketball, spring track and field programs, summer baseball, and swim teams. He organized huge county field days with track meets and basketball tournaments. Coach Taylor gave away hundreds of ribbons at every organized sports event. If a kid showed up and did something, he went home with a ribbon. At every elementary, middle school, and high school in Grady County, Coach Taylor posted record boards, most sit-ups, most push-ups, fastest 100-yard dash, and so on. I stenciled in hundreds of names on those record boards. It was a big deal to be a record holder, let me tell you. And Coach Taylor knew it. He used those boards to motivate kids to the next level. Run faster, jump higher, throw farther. And it worked. Coach Taylor's efforts created a first-rate feeder program that started in the lowest elementary grades. Over time, that program transformed Cairo from an average competitor into a high school sports powerhouse. The mighty syrup makers lived up to their name under his watch. No doubt about it. Coach Taylor was a world-class coach, and I was lucky enough to grow close to him. First job. In all my 11 years, I'd never met a tougher, more competitive, more positive person than Coach Taylor. I couldn't get enough of him. Neither could the other kids in Cairo. Like my parents, Coach Taylor believed in giving kids responsibility and teaching them the value of hard work. He took one look at me and put me to work. Electronics lay years in the future at the basketball park in 1953, so for 25 cents a night, I would sit in the center field and hang wooden scorecards on nails during the games. Then I cleaned up the ballpark after everybody went home. My first job gave me a new level of maturity. I had spending money. I could pay my own way when I wanted something extra, a hamburger or ice cream or a movie. I liked it so much, I worked for Coach Taylor the next 11 years. I never asked my parents for money, even after I graduated and went off to college. Winner. Coach Taylor caused quite a sensation in town, and just as Mr. Julian saw something special in my father, the school administrators at Cairo High School recognized Coach Taylor's talents and hired him as their full-time track coach in 1955. What a great decision. For the next 18 years, Cairo never lost a regional track championship, 118 wins and 0 losses. Even more impressive, they won the state championship, 12 of those 18 years. A couple of years later, Coach Taylor became Cairo High's head basketball coach, and he built a tremendous program there too. 361 wins and 73 losses, 9 regional championships, and 2 back-to-back state championships. He also became the assistant football coach. From 1953 to 1973, working 2 full-time jobs, Coach Taylor racked up a winning record that was just unbelievable. Folks in Cairo weren't the only ones with this opinion. Coach Taylor's brilliance earned him 32 Coach of the Year awards. Perhaps his greatest honor was being named Southeast United States Coach of the Year in track twice. Fanatic. Coach Taylor's real gift came in strategizing. a discipline that eventually earned him the nickname the Old Gray Fox. To him, there was no excuse for being disorganized, even if it meant staying up all night planning. He approached every event he coached with the same intensity. Whether it was a midget football game or a high school state basketball championship, he wanted to win. Coach Taylor held all of us to the same standards. He drew unprecedented performances from his players. Want to know the reason I ended up attending college on a full football scholarship? Coach Taylor. And he did that for dozens of other players. He just had a knack for seeing the potential in kids. And over, he coached average, ordinary athletes to do extraordinary things. Richard Crane is a good example. Coach Taylor took one look at Richard and recruited him for the track team. I don't think Richard even knew what track was, but he learned. He became a discus thrower and shot putter. Wasn't easy. Coach Taylor often had to go by Richard's house and make him come to practice. He simply refused to let Richard quit. In the end, Richard earned a full track scholarship to Auburn University and broke the all-time Southeastern Conference discus record. Gym rat. Once in high school, I never went on vacation with my family again. I was practicing, playing, or working for Coach Taylor. For Coach, Christmas holidays were an opportunity to practice basketball not once, but twice a day. I loved it. I spent thousands of hours with Coach Taylor. I'd go to the school until 3, practice whatever sport was in season until 5:30, and then I'd go to work, coaching midget football, basketball, or swimming. After that, I'd head to Coach Taylor's office at the rec department, and we'd talk until dark. Night after night, I drilled him with questions about coaching. I wanted to know everything, and he would patiently answer every question. I'd become a gym rat, a kid who couldn't get enough of sports. For some reason, Coach Taylor took the time with me. I yearned for the day when I could be a coach like him. He held an awe-inspiring respect among so many Cairo athletes, and I longed to motivate kids the same way. Rules for life. Many years later, in 1993, we honored Coach Taylor with a special reunion. Many of his players came back to Cairo from all over the United States. The town declared it Tommy Taylor Day, and officials in a special dedication service named the Cairo High School track in his honor. A grand celebration and well-deserved. At the reunion banquet, Coach Taylor handed out a business card printed with a few rules to his boys. They summed up his coaching philosophy, but even more importantly, they captured the simple but powerful philosophy he lived by. I still have that card. Those 3 basic principles form the bedrock of my management philosophy in both coaching and business. They are the keys to success in any organization, business, school, church, club, you name it. I realized one other thing that night too. How deeply Coach Taylor's recognition and motivation principles had sunk into my thinking. Watching Coach Taylor all those years, it became crystal clear that recognition is a powerful force in building a team. Everyone wants praise for a job well done, whether you're a kid running a relay race or an adult building a business. If you praise and recognize successful behavior, chances are a person will repeat the performance. Years after those days with Coach Taylor, A.L. Williams became world famous for recognition. Door-sized plaques, 6-foot-high trophies, Super Bowl rings, Rolex watches, trips to Europe and Hawaii, and of course, our famous t-shirts. We found inventive and memorable ways to praise our leaders for top performance. I owe that to Coach Taylor. the master motivator. I owe that much and more. He was like my second dad. And he will always be the greatest coach in the world to me. I didn't know it at the time, but the lessons I learned from him in Cairo would shape my future in profound ways. We're going to put a pin in it right there. You don't want to miss tomorrow. Title of chapter 4 that we start tomorrow is Dream Life. How many of you are wishing for a dream life? Well, let me tell you something. To create a dream life, you first have to have the courage to dream. How many of you have given up on dreaming? Show of hands. Be honest. Probably more than once. Dreamed, got your stuffing knocked out of you. Never going to do that again. Got excited again, started dreaming. Hope, had future visions. Something else went wrong. Never doing that again. How many times have you dreamed and stopped dreaming? Maybe you're here right now. You're listening to me. Do I have it in me to dream again? Can I take that fall if it happens again? Here's what I want to tell you. Number one, you do have it in you. Number two, everything you've been through was necessary. And number three, the greatest revenge is massive success. And the revenge isn't about anybody else. As a spiritual entrepreneur, your revenge is you over you. Light over dark. Possibilities over doubt. So here's what we have for you. We all have faith. We do. We have faith in God, or we have faith in an enemy. Both are faith. Fear is faith in the enemy. That's not the team we're playing for. My name's Roderick H. Norville. Full Circle Podcast. What's your story? This has been LCAO Book Club. We'll see you guys tomorrow.